is there anything that Joe Burrow can do himself that can reduce his sack rate? Watch a video and figure out how Joe Burrow can do that. Welcome back to the video, guys. It's CGI Sports, and today we'll be talking about Joe Burrow and the defending AFC Conference champs and how Joe Burrow can reduce his sack rate, if there's anything that he can do or stuff that the Cincinnati Bengals can do. Let's get right into this video. So the Bengals quarterback Joseph Burrow, Joe Shiesty, has put himself in a position to be considered as a top elite talent at his position and one of the better and best football players in the NFL. But there's one aspect of Joe Burrow's game that could really improve, and that is just taking fewer sacks. But we got to remember, not all the sacks are the quarterback's fault, and not all the sacks are offensive line's fault. Burrow was sacked a league high last year, 51 times in 2021. Then he was sacked 19 more times in the four postseason games, including 9 times. 9 times against Tennessee and 7 times against the Rams in the Super Bowl. So the Bengals began training camp, and offensive coordinator Brian Callahan said on Monday that he focused on reducing Burrow's sack numbers. This is what the quote that he said to the Bengals.com website. And not that we have ever wanted to change the way he plays football, but there are definitely things that we have looked at that you could take 5, 6, 7, 8 sacks of those off and some decision making on earlier downs. The sack thing is legitimate, and there's some things that we can do to help that. You know, there's time and a place to extend a play, and there's time and a place to throw the ball away or to take a check down or just take what you have. So it's hard to sit here and be like, hey, this is exactly what you need to go do. Every down and distance is different. But there are moments where he could help and take some of the heat off himself and take a lot fewer hits. We also got to remember that Joe Burrow is coming off from his rookie year, one of the worst ACL, MCL tears we have seen. Like he destroyed his knee, and then he was sacked 70 times last season alone, if you want to include a regular season and playoffs. 51 times in the regular season, 19 times in the playoffs. He was sacked 70 times last season. So the Bengals also made some moves to also on the offensive line to help him. So they still have Jonah Williams on the left side. They signed Alex Kappa from the Tampa Bay Bucks. Ted Karras, or Kraus, I know people say his name a little different. And they traded for offensive lineman Leyland Collins from the Dallas Cowboys. Those moves should really help Joe Burrow reduce his sack rate, but the quarterback also has to do his part. And just kind of what the offensive coordinator and Brian Callahan said, that there's decision making, there's better decision making that can happen on earlier downs. Maybe on earlier downs, you don't have to extend the play. If the play is not there, you can roll out, throw the ball away. You can roll out and just hit a little dink and dunk pass. You can roll out and hit your check down. Sometimes you don't have to go for the big play. And that's when you roll out and you take a massive shot, just kind of what he did from Chase Young that destroyed his knee. So there's, moments where he can take the heat off himself and take just a little bit less shots. And the Bengals have done everything in their power. One, they're going to try to keep T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase together as long as they possibly can go. They have upgraded the offensive lineman, and they have one of the better running backs in the league in Joe Mixon. They have a really, really good offense. They have Zach Taylor, who, say what you want. He's a younger coach, but known to be like an offensive guru, kind of like a Sean McVay disciple coach. Their defense is still very solid. They have defensive players. Probably one of the most underrated and overlooked first-round picks is Daxton Hill, who's going to be a stud for them if they decide to keep Jesse Bates or decide to move on from Jesse Bates, Daxton Hill will be a great ball player, and also, in my opinion, has the ability to move out and go play a slot corner if that's what they ask him to go do. You know, Von Bell, Jesse Bates, and Daxton Hill is one of the best safety cores in the NFL. Corner is kind of where they lack. They do have a couple of good young linebackers and a very good defensive line. So they have a team where they can go around Joe Burrow again and go late in the playoffs, but it's going to have to be on the extent of Joe Burrow taking way less sacks. But if you like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to this video. And it's your boy CJ Sports, and I'm out. Peace, guys.